As I mentioned before, the pesticide resistance is a problem. And the insecticide only kill susceptible individuals, and the natural selection over time will choose those strong survivors, which is harder to get rid of. I want to use one example in the textbook, page 336. And if we look at those two flies, the house flies is this fat, round, clumsy shape, and the house flies from the poultry facility is this swift shape. So if you use certain concentration, very low concentration of the insecticide, the house flies will be completely 100% wiped out. But for this guy on the right, which is more nasty, you probably increase 50 to 100 fold, you cannot get rid of them. Which means their survival rate, like after you increase the concentration 50 fold, they still, more than half, they still survived. So as humans, by keeping using those chemicals, we are building monsters, weed monsters, bug monsters, and we are pushing those populations to be very resistant to the chemicals. So the pesticide resistance is a problem also. Some weeds are super strong, like you cannot kill them anymore, and some of the bugs also, you have to increase the concentration or change the formula of your chemicals. And another bad effect of the chemical use is effects on non-target organisms and kill beneficial species as well as pest species. I have an Annenberg assignment for you to do for this chapter. And you can see sometimes killing the unwanted insects, it's not the only way for the smart agriculture management. Sometimes we want to preserve their predators. And of course, many of the chemicals kill predators and parasites, and the species not previously a problem become a serious pest. And our textbook has more information on this. And of course, our human health concerns is always concern, and I will leave the details for you to review, but I want to briefly mention those people working with those chemicals in long term because of the unavoidable exposure to those small quantities, but they accumulated during a long time. And the World Health Organization estimates 1 to 5 million acute poisonings occur annually, resulting in 20,000 deaths. It's unfortunately the reality. And why are pesticides so widely used? So we talk about how effective they are, right? We need them to survive, and then we use too much. Why we use too much? Because we need those chemicals for food production, economic concerns, and health reasons to kill the bugs and kill the pathogens carrying insects. And I want you to pay attention to the middle economic concerns. It becomes a business. People making profit out of it. If you tell them not to produce pesticides anymore, they don't have job anymore. So keep that in your mind when you study the Annenberg assignment. And I leave this slide to your own study. That's an overview of the history again. And why we need those chemicals, where those chemicals bring us to today. And we are thinking about alternatives to conventional agriculture, how to reduce the chemical use and how to be more friendly to our environment. So alternative agriculture is non-traditional methods, and they're sustainable, produce adequate food supplies while protecting or enhancing ecosystem health. And that is a goal also. We are all striving for that goal. It is achievable. The last thing I want to mention in the novel agricultural methods is organic agriculture. To explore the organic foods, I strongly encourage you to read the case study. I call it a case study, but for you, it's probably issues analysis on page 344 and 345. So we all educate ourselves what is exactly organic food. I think that is worthy of studying. And organic agriculture, it doesn't involve the use of artificial fertilizers, chemical growth regulators, all those synthetic chemicals, and genetic modified crops. And there are several goals for sustainable approach to agriculture. And I love this. That's why I put this slide in green. Minimizing chemical use, conserving resources, staying economically viable, which means you want to do smart things, but you also consider economic reasons. If it is too expensive to establish organic farm here, then we probably have to mix organic farm altogether with the monoculture methods. Encouraging biodiversity. So those are several goals I want to emphasize here. And of course, we want to keep those good bugs and get rid of the bad bugs. And eventually, biological active soils, they lead to healthier, more insect and disease-resistant plants and animals. So it's like our human body. If we are healthy, everything is healthy, right? It's sometimes more worthy of putting time to exercise, have a good diet, and sleep early to take care of our body than spend a lot of money treating the diseases. And it's the same thing with agriculture. You want to take care of the environment first. Environment will take care of itself. So techniques for protecting soil and water resources, and we want to reduce the use of farm equipment, and we want to incorporate crop residues into the soil, builds organic matter to have more natural organic matter than all the chemical compounds we dump in the soil. And we want to reduce the fertilizer runoff to help aquatic ecosystems. We want to reduce the contamination and pollution. Excuse me. And the careful selection, timing, and the use of pesticides decrease environmental contamination. Precision agriculture is a new technique that addresses many of these concerns. So talking about precision, that requires a lot of accurate scientific knowledge. So with modern computer technology and geographic information system, it is possible, based on soil and topography, to automatically vary the chemicals applied to the crop at different places within a field. So precision means you have accurate information, you know where and when and what is the minimum of the chemicals you need to use. And I think that is very smart. The last thing I want to mention is the integrated pest management. And you will do an exercise in the Annenberg assignment. It requires information about the crop plant metabolism and the biological interactions between pests and their predators or parasites. And we need a lot of information, right? Accurate scientific information to study the land, to study the crops, to study the bugs, and how they interact with each other. And we need to know, of course, climate conditions and the techniques to encourage beneficial